This is Justice Done Dirt Cheap. We're in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. It's August 31, 2012. I wanted to give you an update about some legal matters that I'm involved in and experiencing. I have never been in the criminal justice system before, and I now have 3 criminal charges against me. These are not convictions, they're just charges. It's basically allegations that are made. They're unproven yet. What they are is, one is assault, number 2 is undertaking, and number 3 is breach of an undertaking. Now, I've never been charged with anything criminally before. I have the documentation to prove it that I received in a partial disclosure from the Fredericton Police Force. Now, how this convoluted story began was I unsuspectingly moved into what I believed was going to be my dream home. I had planned on doing the white picket fence thing, settling down, having a family. Now, little did I know I was going to experience neighbors from hell. Now, these particular neighbors that are subject to this video is Neil Rogers and Trina Rogers. Now, since I moved into that property, which is 31 Marshall Street and 29 Marshall Street in Fredericton, they immediately began a program of non-stop harassment involving the Fredericton Police Force. What they did is they would call the Fredericton Police Force about anything that happened and didn't happen. As in, if I was outside walking around my yard, the Fredericton Police Force would show up. If anyone pulled into my driveway, stayed too long, the Fredericton Police Force would show up. It went on and on like that for years, where I had to basically live as if I was a criminal just to keep from getting arrested by the Fredericton Police Force, because Neil Rogers and Trina Rogers kept fabricating events, circumstances, and reasons for the Fredericton Police Force to show up. And on the few occasions where I was unlucky enough not to make it inside quick enough, I was arrested. Each time I was arrested, I was assaulted, battered, dragged down to the police station. On one of the occasions, I was simply traveling by bicycle. The Trina Rogers, or Neil Rogers, called the police and told them something illegal was going on and that they had to apprehend me. So, 2 marked police cars and an unmarked police car zeroed in on my location, stopped me, dragged me off my bicycle, slammed me on the trunk of a car, and arrested me. Now, what was interesting is Trina Rogers was actually sitting in the unmarked car. Behind the car, I was being body slammed on and assaulted and battered. What I found out later, through disclosure, through the Right to Information and Protection of Privacy Act, was that the reason why the Fredericton Police Force came after me that day is because someone called the Fredericton Police Force, gave my description, said something illegal was going on, and because of that, the Fredericton Police Force came after me. Now, on a second occasion, I was simply shoveling my driveway, and again, the Fredericton Police Force showed up. They tackled me, twisted me up, assaulted, battered, pepper sprayed me, then dragged me down to the Fredericton Police Station. I was held for some time, then released without charge. Now the reason why they appeared is someone phoned the police, told them that something illegal is going on, that there was a wanted criminal or something going on, and the police had to arrive. Now, after years of harassment, I finally filed a notice of action and statement of claim where I named Neil and Trina Rogers as defendants, where they're the reason why the police arrived in those two events. Without them making the phone calls, the police wouldn't have arrived. And I wouldn't have had the experiences I did. Now, the interesting thing is, through all of this, I was actually provided a affidavit which clearly stated, it was signed by Neil Rogers, that stated he was in close contact with the Fredericton Police Force, the Mayor of Fredericton, the Chief of Police, regarding me, the location of my residence, and all about me. In this affidavit, he made out as if he was some sort of informant to the Fredericton Police Force, informing them about me and my comings and goings, when I was home, when I'm not home, if lights are on, lights are not on, who's coming and going. All these things were in that affidavit. So that's conclusive proof, sworn evidence by affidavit, that he is the one calling the police, and also his wife provided an affidavit where she admitted in sworn statement to have called the Fredericton Police Force on me regarding incidents that any reasonable person would not have called the Fredericton Police Force. So it's conclusive proof that both of these individuals have done this. Now the next chapter of the saga is Neil Rogers has charged me. Well, Neil Rogers provided written statements that I assaulted him. The Fredericton Police Force have pursued the assault charge. Both Trina Rogers and Neil Rogers have provided witness statements which caused the Fredericton Police Force to try to bring up another criminal code charge, which is an undertaking. So the source of this is from these two criminal charges from them. Now these criminal charges are unfounded. There's no truth to them. But what's been such a terrible experience for me is that the whole way along the line, the Fredericton Police Force have not acted according to the Criminal Code of Canada or the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, nor have the Crown Prosecution Services or the courts. Each step in the process, my rights have been violated. I've been arrested without lawful authority to do so, as in I should not have been arrested, yet the Fredericton Police arrested me anyway. And based on the information provided to the Crown Prosecution Services by the Fredericton Police Force, they should not have picked up these charges for prosecution. I mean, I was never even asked, do I have an alibi? Do I have a witness saying I was not there? Or was there a witness there? What is my story? They never asked me that. What's amazing is when I was arrested the first time regarding the criminal charge of assault and undertaking, they didn't even have enough paperwork together to even bring me directly to the court where one's entitled to actually see a judge in quick time. And the Fredericton Police Force didn't even have the paperwork in order enough yet to even bring me over. I had to wait for about an hour for them to even fill out the right paperwork to at least get me before a judge. Turns out I wasn't able to actually see a judge that day, and I was told it would be at least 2 more days before I was even able to get before a judge and try to have the matter sorted out a little bit. Anyways, I don't want to get into the whole lengthy experience for the court procedure after that. What I can tell you is this: I've experienced some really awful experiences so far regarding these criminal charges. I've been under an undertaking for months now, and you gotta remember, these allegations are not proven. I haven't even had a trial yet. The trial is set for about 8 months from now. So by the time I get to trial, I would have been under an undertaking for about almost a full year. Now, an undertaking is a severe limitation on one's rights. At any time, one's in a precarious position when you're under an undertaking, that the Fredericton Police can just pick you up for all kinds of breaches of undertakings that you may not even know about. As in, you may not realize you breached some undertaking. They may not even have any proof that you breached an undertaking. They may not even know you did, but they just act on it anyway. They'll arrest you, drag you down, and put you in a jail cell in the Fredericton Police Force headquarters. Then they'll drag you in front of a judge, who will then say he can't do anything for you, and then you'll end up in Saint John for at least a day or 2. Then they'll drag you back to court and get you to sign another undertaking. And they'll add layers and layers of conditions on the undertaking until it's just ridiculous. At this point, I've been arrested several times. I have an undertaking that is very draconian. I'm at a point now where it's so precarious that if I breach any federal Canadian law, which is any law federally in Canada, or any provincial law, or any city bylaw, I can be charged for another breach of undertaking, which is another criminal code charge, which, if it's a summary conviction offense, is 6 months in jail. If it's the other one, I'm at a loss for what that is right now, but if it's the other one, it's up to 2 years in jail, which is ridiculous for every single breach of an undertaking. I'm in a precarious position where even if I'm seen jaywalking, I can be thrown in jail for up to 2 years. Okay, it's indictable. The other type of criminal charge, it's either summary conviction, indictable, or hybrid offense. And like I said, summary conviction is up to 6 months in jail, and hybrid offense, or indictable, is up to 2 years in jail for every single breach of an undertaking. This is just awful. It's a terrible experience, and I've met many other people who are going through the same thing. Lots of stories from people who have spent many months in jail when the original charge was actually dropped, or they went to trial and were found innocent, and then what they're stuck with is many months in jail for breaches of undertakings, which could amount to years. So I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you for listening. This is Justice Done Dirt Cheap in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. That's all for now.